All right. Good morning, everyone, and welcome back to Betting by the Numbers, a sports betting YouTube and Discord channel dedicated to taking the decision-making process of sports betting out of the hands of idiots like me and putting it in the hands of people who win. We're back after another 4-2 day. We just can't seem to get over that edge. Last night, we also had a DraftKings parlay that was posted on the Picket. It was 9 legs, 8 of them hit. D'Angelo Russell got benched in the fourth quarter, so we missed his assist by 2. I mean, you can't predict D'Angelo Russell's going to just not play at all after about 5 minutes to go in the third quarter. We've just had some unlucky turns the last couple of days. But the whole point is you use the right unit size, you use bankroll management, and you're going to be okay. We have a quick video today. Honestly, there's just not a lot on the board that's good right now. Baseball lines aren't out enough, and the soccer lines and the basketball lines, since they've been out for a couple of days, are pretty stagnant. So I'm just going to give you a quick overview of the slate, give you an overview of the EV picks, but there's honestly not enough picks for me to get a 5 or a pick 6 on the slate right now, so it's not worth me enforcing a pick. This should be a lesson for most people. Don't just force a pick for the sake of doing it. Wait for those other lines to come out. This is something I wouldn't have said years ago, but I've learned from that, and I think it's really smart. You can see there's a lot of interleague afternoon play here in baseball, so there's no reason to just force one at 7:30 in the morning just because. So we're going to be posting it throughout the day, but I just wanted to go over the slate, over the soccer picks, and give you guys at least a little something today. So we're going to look at the basketball lines first. We have the Heat and Celtics in Game 1 of the Eastern Conference Final. Looks like it opened at 8 for the Celtics and has stayed there. 61% of the tickets on the Heat with 60% of the cash on the Celtics. That, to me, spells big Celtics win at home. Now, they've been known to blow things in the playoffs, especially home games in the playoffs the Celtics have. But I think a big statement win come out here. They lost to the Heat in the playoff or in the bubble in 2020. I think this is a revenge series, and you're going to find probably the best version of the Celtics we've seen in a while. I think this matchup's good for them. So I think they're going to get it done at home tonight. We're going to look for some value on how to create because I don't think betting -8 is the right choice. So we'll be watching. Baseball, you can see we have a pretty good slate today. 4 games in the AL, 4 games in the NL, and then it looks like 7 games in interleague play. So plenty for us to bet on once those lines come out, but they just unfortunately aren't there yet. Just to give you an idea here, I can show you the Odds Jam sportsbook screen, right? You can see there's almost no difference between these, and you're not going to see anything much over -110. I mean, look, -130, you'd be like, oh, that's a good line, but it's already dropped to 7. The lines have just been out too long, and unfortunately, this is what happens, right? You just get stagnant lines, the board gets dry, and there's just not a lot to do. So we need to wait for those baseball lines, wait for the other sports lines to come out. But we do have a couple picks over on the Champions League today, so let's get into those at least. So we looked through the calculations pretty quickly yesterday, but again, we're going to go over a little bit of how we get to these calculations and how we use this to bet going forward. So this is the principle that we've laid down for all of our picks, right? We just have other websites to do it for us. Odds Jam, Prop Professor, all of those websites do one thing, and that is comparing sportsbooks odds versus the odds of PrizePicks, Parlay Play, and other daily fantasy apps. They're becoming more prevalent in the United States day by day. So what we are trying to do in the Odds Jam community, as well as in just the sports betting community, is look for variations. Each of these books set their lines separately. So what that means is each of them has a computer, a team, and in some cases for the large casinos, hundreds of thousands, if millions of dollars are spent on setting these lines every year to make sure that they're getting an edge. But what we are looking for is when PrizePicks is wrong, right? They might not be able to set every line perfectly, so we're looking where they're off. And there's a couple that we found in soccer where PrizePicks is just off from the rest of the sports books. So we will start with Kevin De Bruyne under 2.5 shots. So the reason that we have this highlighted in yellow and we have value here is pretty simple, actually, once you can figure out the calculations. And I just let Excel do all the work for me. But you can see Kevin De Bruyne over at Bovada and Bet365 for 2.5 shots is plus 120 for the over and minus 163 on the under. However, when you get these down into probability forms where they should add up to 1, they don't, right? Because this 0.07 in the 1.07 is what the sportsbook gets paid no matter what. We usually refer to that one as the VIG, which is if you try to add the implied probabilities of these two odds, they won't equal 1, so we need to take that out. So once we've taken out the VIG, you can see we keep scrolling over and we turn that back into the American odds that we know and love. And all of a sudden we have a no VIG that is replicating each other. So that's what it should be when we take it out, because it should equal 1 when we add it together. So when we look at this, we see minus 136 for the under, which should jump out to you, right? Oh, well, I wouldn't want to take that in normal life because I'm going to have to pay $136 to win 100. However, at PrizePicks, that's different. At PrizePicks, the odds don't change whether or not you take the over or under, like at DraftKings and like at FanDuel. They stay the same no matter what at minus 119 a leg, as long as you are betting 5 and 6 picks. So this minus 136 may seem like a big deal when you're betting at DraftKings, but when you're taking it in other sports books where you're only going to pay minus 119, that creates this beautiful thing that we call expected value. And when there's expected value, bets generally win over time. They're not going to win every day. You're going to have bad weeks. You're going to have bad months. But over time, this just proves to be a successful way to gamble. It's the reason that I spend my time learning it, understanding it, and then explaining it for you all. And it's just worked. So we have to be diligent about it, though, and we have to make sure we're waiting for those lines that hit that true minus 119. So we can see over here there is a value because minus 136 compared to minus 119 creates a almost 15% value. So Kevin De Bruyne under 2.5 shots going to be our first addition. Then the next one, Antonio Rudiger for Real Madrid. He has the over of 0.5 tackles. We've had some unlucky tackle lines, but this one feels like a great one. You can see even after we take out the VIG, it's still minus 147. That is a huge difference, but compared to minus 119, a 24% value. So we are going to add that to our lineup. The last one is going to be a little less analytical and a little more, simple numbers based, right? We have Ruben Diaz under 88.5 passes. You can see his line at every other sports book is 85.5. I looked at taking Rodri's line since it's an over. However, I didn't feel as comfortable about him hitting that line. However, Ruben Diaz, I believe, has only hit the 88.5 in 4 games in the Champions League this year, and he hasn't hit in those last 4. I think that this is going to be a game Real Madrid is going to try to hold on to the ball as much as they can. But City's going to press forward. I think that this is a game where he hits like 65, 70, but I don't think he hits that 88 or 85 line. So those would be my 3 picks for PrizePicks. So I believe I've already gone over and added them. You can see Diaz, De Bruyne, and Rudiger. However, we are going to be looking for more picks and haven't been able to find those. So I think that we're going to just add those to the lineup and then look for more picks that I will be posting later. I apologize, guys. I wish we could get a full 5 or 6 pick out here. But unfortunately, the books aren't letting us do that quite yet. So I'll be watching throughout the day. I'll be posted on the social medias. Just follow along there. If you guys can give a like and subscribe, I'm putting in a lot of work on these videos. I'm trying to make them as efficient and accurate as possible. So if you guys could just do that a little bit, I really support me and makes this a little bit easier. So thanks again, guys. Thanks for watching, and let's win some money.